Coming up on This Week in Torrance, the search for a new superintendent is underway, and the district wants to hear your opinions. Then community members took center stage to show off their best dance moves, all for a good cause. And the Torrance South Bay YMCA partnered with the LA County Project to make sure loved ones are safe and protected. These stories and much more just seconds away. Your local news starts right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. My co-anchor Jen Chun has the week off. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. The City of Torrance is participating in a national celebration of trees. Torrance City Council proclaimed the week of March 7th through the 14th California Arbor Week here in the city. Residents are encouraged to observe and celebrate the week by planting trees in the community. Arbor Week kicks off on the birthday of Luther Burbank, a famed California horticulturist. In the proclamation, staff said trees are a valuable and attractive asset, important to property values, and plays a vital role in energy conservation. Trees also protect and purify California's limited water resources through surface water runoff reduction. They also provide essential habitats for much of California's wildlife. The City of Torrance has more than 47,000 trees. In honor of Arbor Week, there will be a tree planting event hosted in the city on Saturday, March 7th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., taking place at Arlington Avenue and Plaza del Amo. Vietnam veterans from the South Bay gave thanks to the city for their continuous support. Bob Chioda, a member of the Torrance Social Services Commission, who is also part of the Vietnam Veterans of America South Bay Chapter 53, attended the recent city council meeting with members from his chapter. Chioda expressed gratitude to the city for hosting various events year-round that support military members, such as the annual Armed Forces Day Parade and festivities, the Hometown Heroes Banner Program, Veterans Appreciation Luncheon, and Resource Fair, to name a few.
It is very clear that the City of Torrance holds its veterans in the highest regard.
Vietnam Veterans of America is a national nonprofit organization committed to serving the needs of all veterans. Also at the City Council, the community was urged to participate in the upcoming 2020 Census. President and CEO of the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, Donna Duperron, spoke on behalf of the 2020 Census Count Ad Hoc Committee. Households will start receiving information about the census from March 12th through the 20th. The count that happens every 10 years provides a snapshot of the nation's demographics. Census officials say there are 9 questions and all responses are confidential and protected by law. For the first time this year, you will be able to respond online. The census determines the number of seats your state gets in Congress and shapes decisions on public and federal funding. Duperron says it helps business owners enhance hiring practices and identify skilled workers. The United States Bureau is currently recruiting for temporary jobs that have competitive wages, flexible hours, and paid training. For more information, head to 2020census.gov. A toiletry drive will soon be underway to assist the homeless population in the city. The Torrance Social Services Commission is hosting its annual toiletry drive from March 9th through the 20th. They are hoping to receive new and unopened donations in full and travel sizes. Few items they are asking for include shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, body wipes, shaving lotions, razor, and feminine hygiene products. They will not accept hotel toiletries. You'll find collection bins starting March 9th at various locations, including City Hall, Human Resources, all Torrance libraries, the lobby of Fire Station 1, and the Torrance Police Department. The drive will benefit 4 local organizations that serve the Torrance community: Family Promise of South Bay, 1736 Family Crisis Center, Harbor Interfaith, and Star Inc. You can check out the full list of donation items that are in need at torranceca.gov. Torrance Transit is moving forward with expanding its service to the community. At the recent City Council meeting, Transit Director Kim Turner brought to Council an 18-month study of the transit system, which included valuable input from more than 2,000 community members. The comprehensive analysis is part of their Torrance Transit Tomorrow project that will help the team create a strategic plan to optimize and expand transit service over the next 6 years. Staff shared that from the study, they learned customers wanted more weekend service, an increase in frequency, and were in favor of proposed changes. The Transit Tomorrow plan has 6 recommendations and phases for implementation. Council approved the initial steps of implementing phase 1 of the plan that includes expansion of Line 4X, Torrance to downtown Los Angeles, by increasing frequency, realign routes 5, 7, and Rapid 3 to improve service efficiency, and extend the number 9 to Kaiser Permanente South Bay Medical Center, and Line 10 to Inglewood to create service to the National Football League Stadium. Phase 1 is cost neutral, but for the other phases, funding will be needed. Implementation could begin as soon as July. Well, the local business community heard from state leaders and important issues they're fighting for in Congress. At the annual State of the Region address, Congresswoman Maxine shared information about the federal budget and the proposal recently submitted to Congress. She addressed the numerous budget cuts for various programs important to the economy and community, including the cut of $500 billion of Medicare over 10 years and $24 billion from Social Security. Waters talked about the importance of maintaining essential infrastructure and safe, affordable housing. She helped spearhead the Housing Infrastructure Act that would allow for $287 billion over 5 years for investments in the nation's highway. Waters said she has worked to facilitate federal funding for high-priority infrastructure projects over the past year, including improving irrigation systems in the city of Torrance. She also helped increase federal funding for Torrance Transit, securing more than $20 million in federal funds during the 6-year period for affordable transportation and reducing carbon footprint. Other points included her push for diversity and inclusion of women and increased awareness about helicopter safety and making sure they are all equipped with terrain warning systems in the future. Waters discussed the homeless crisis, and she applauded Torrance officials for taking steps to combat it.
This bill provides over $13 billion in new funding over 5 years to federal programs and initiatives to ensure every person experiencing homelessness in America has a roof over their head.
Congressman Ted Lieu addressed the infrastructure and homelessness as well. He talked about receiving full federal funding for phase 1 of Metro's build-out of the subway line and additional extensions. Lieu said he worked to make sure the Los Angeles Air Force Base didn't get moved. He touched upon the passing of the bill that revitalized West Los Angeles VA Hospital to have 12,000 units for housing veterans, and this year 3 additional will break ground. Congressman Lieu talked about the City and State Diplomacy Act to help local cities and counties network with other countries. Lieu continued his discussion on the push for stronger cybersecurity, most importantly the Cyber Shield Act that would protect consumers when purchasing products.
So what our legislation would do is do something similar to Underwriters Laboratory, or to have a voluntary certification process where manufacturers can go and get their product certified, and then there'll be this little cyber shield on it, so you know, hey, if you buy this webcam with the cyber shield, less likely a hacker takes it and watches you with it. So that legislation has been introduced, and it's our hope that we can get bipartisan support.
You can watch the full State of the Region address on Torrance CitiCABLE's YouTube page. Air quality officials, along with city staff, held an informative community meeting for the public on the Torrance Air Project. At the Toyota Meeting Hall, South Coast Air Quality Management District officials worked to answer community questions about the Torrance Air Quality Monitoring Project. The project observes local air quality using a fence line air monitoring system at the refinery and multiple monitoring stations located in the community. City officials, representatives from Sonoma Technologies, Inc., and members from the Torrance Fire Department attended. Officials gave an overall summary of the project. First, they said the measurements they take are the most critical for the community, specifically from the refinery. A few of the next steps they plan to take for the project include Torrance Air displaying the refinery's north fence line data later in February. Purple air particulate sensors will be deployed in March, and they will bring an educational program to schools by fall 2020. Emphasis of the meeting was put on what steps SCAQMD took to investigate the higher levels of benzene readings that were recorded recently. Officials noted only 2 hours out of 2,520 hours recorded showed benzene concentrations above the short-term reference exposure level. REL is the concentration level at or below which no adverse health effects are anticipated for a specified exposure duration. SCAQMD took steps to find out whether the measurements were accurate and real. They found so far the concentrations measured during that time were not as high as reported originally, and actual benzene concentrations did not exceed the short-term reference exposure level. The instruments have been reviewed with Sonoma Technology, Inc., and found that the tubing instrument and calibration lines were contaminated. The benzene readings at that time did not pose any immediate threat to the public. Also discussed during the meeting was the supplemental environmental project that involves sirens installations across the city and will soon be completed. If you missed the meeting, you can hear all the details on our YouTube page. Also, you can check out the project by going to torranceair.org. Well, the Torrance Unified School District announced they're in the process of searching for its next superintendent. The school board says they are conducting an executive search to hire the school's district's next superintendent. Dr. George Bannon plans to retire on June 30th this year. Peggy Lynch and Mark Ecker of the executive search firm Leadership Associates have been selected to advise and assist the board in this important process. Leadership Associates has developed an online survey to collect input from all stakeholders about the desired characteristics of the next superintendent. If you head to TUSD.org, you can provide your input through a survey from now through March 6th. You can also continue to get updates by checking out the district's website. The school board said they look forward to working with the Torrance community as we move towards selection of this essential leader for our Torrance schools. Dr. Bannon was appointed as superintendent of schools in 2005. For more information, head to TUSD.org/district/superintendent. If you're a business expanding in the state of California, you may be eligible for a tax incentive. On March 9th, the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development is accepting applications for the California Competes Tax Credit. There are more than $70 million in tax credits available during the application period for businesses that are expanding and adding full-time jobs in the state. The California Competes Tax Credit is an income tax credit available to businesses that want to locate in California or stay and grow in the state. Businesses of any industry size or location compete for more than $180 million available in tax credits by applying in one of the 3 application periods each year. Applicants will be analyzed based on 12 different factors of evaluation, including the number of full-time jobs being created, amount of investment, and strategic importance to the state or region. The deadline to submit the applications is Monday, March 30th at 11:59 p.m. Businesses interested in learning more about the CCTC can participate in free application webinars at business.ca.gov. While Torrance isn't hosting any workshops for this funding period, you can still reach out to the city's Economic Development Department. The Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development serves as the state of California's leader for job growth and economic development efforts. Well, the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce is looking to celebrate community members who are making a difference through diversity. Now through March 9th, the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce is looking for residents to nominate individuals and programs who positively impact their community, support multicultural awareness, diversity, and contribute to the overall well-being of a strong and vibrant local economy. You can submit a nomination for individuals in the Torrance area and surrounding communities. Individuals may be entered into more than one category. In the nomination application, an essay is required to give a brief introduction of the individual or program. Provide details that speak to the individual or program's involvement, growth, and stability in the multicultural spheres. The categories for the awards are Advocate, Catalyst, Excellence in the Academics, Outstanding Diversity Program, Rising Star, and Vanguard. Winners will be honored at the 2020 Multicultural Celebration on April 17th at noon. For the application, head to torrancechamber.com. Well, still ahead, you can get a head start on planning how you will celebrate the city's Armed Forces Day Parade. Plus, El Camino College unveils its newest facility, and loved ones came out to the Torrance South Bay YMCA to get a one-of-a-kind bracelet that will tell you how they're keeping community members safe.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in yourself, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It was a packed crowd at the 9th annual Dancing with the South Bay Stars competition. Costumes ready. 10 dance duos teamed up to practice for months to perfect their numbers. Each participant was given 20 hours with a professional dancer, choreographer, along with space to rehearse. But it was more than just a fun dance competition. Each contestant competed for a charity of their choice and to raise money for the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation. Even before the event, the public voted for their favorite dancer to fundraise for their cause. Judges provided feedback on each act. Officials say the one-of-a-kind dance competition came about after the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation wanted to come up with a new and exciting way to continue their mission of enriching the community through the arts while finding more creative, engaging ways to help raise funds.
Tonight I'm supporting a great charity, Cancer Research Institute, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to honor the team members who were themselves or their families affected by cancer last year. It was a tough year for those folks, and Cancer Research Institute supports cancer immunology, so their goal is to find a cure for every type of cancer.
City of Torrance benefits because we have local community members pulling together to really give back to the community. The nonprofits are all local and they're crucial to the vitality and the fabric of Torrance. So I think it's really important for us to all just pitch in and help each other get ahead.
The winners are chosen from the judges' score and the amount of votes they get through the voting system. The champions this year were Lisa Tregitz and Antonio Neto, who supported the Dream Street Foundation that provides campaign programs for children and young adults with chronic and life-threatening illnesses.
The preparation is definitely intense, and we put a lot of hours into this. Like, we didn't take it lightly. We really wanted the mirror ball. Like, we weren't going to really take anything less, but let's be honest. But also this guy, this is a generous, kind, really dedicated, and taught me a lot about life in general kind of person. So I feel like I actually learned more from him.
Well, the process was really intense. Larissa and I, we were meeting daily and in a weekly, every weekend, several hours a day. And we were repeating the routine on and on. So it was a very exhausting and time-consuming and stressful many times. But it paid off.
Second place went to Mary DiMatteo and Robert King Game, who fundraised for Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Each received a sizable donation for their charity, but everyone who competed did walk away a winner, receiving $500 for their organization. You can always keep up to date with all of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation events by going to torrancearts.org. A highly anticipated patriotic event in the city of Torrance is around the corner. One of the highlights from the annual Armed Forces Day Parade festivities is the 5K for Freedom. If you're interested in participating in the 5th annual 5K put on by the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, you can apply now. The event provides an opportunity for the community run alongside troops from all 6 branches of the military. There will also be a special tribute to hometown hero Louis Zamperini during the event. It takes place on Saturday, May 16th. To sign up, now the cost is $38. The annual Armed Forces Day Parade and weekend celebration takes place from May 15th through the 17th. This is the long-standing tradition as the city gets ready to celebrate its 61st consecutive year of hosting the parade. Torrance is one of Few cities nationwide sanctioned by the Department of Defense to honor the armed forces. The featured branch of the military this year will be the Coast Guard. For all information on the events, head to torranceca.gov. You can find the application for the 5K at torrance5k.com. The first place 5K for freedom for men and women are invited to ride in the Torrance Armed Forces Day Parade. Local residents got free checkups at the Torrance South Bay YMCA to make sure they are not at risk for a stroke. Nearly 50 people received a free, non-invasive stroke and thyroid screening hosted in partnership with Memorial Care Medical Group to identify their risk for cardiovascular disease. Attendees were 50 years of age or older and screened through an ultrasound. Pacific Health and Wellness partnered at the event and also offer clinical screening programs to area hospitals and medical groups. Medical staff identified whether there was plaque in arteries, thickening of arterial walls, or any obstructions. Officials say if a patient has plaque in one area, the likelihood is greater of having it in another area. When it came to the thyroid screening, they looked at size and texture for any cysts or masses for further testing.
So we use an ultrasound transducer on both sides of the neck, and we actually look into that artery, into the carotid arteries, and it comes up as the common carotids, and it bifurcates or splits into the internal and external. External for the facial area, internal for the brain. And so we're looking at any plaquing or anything that may increase their risk. And if they do have additional risk, then they need to take this to their physician so their physician can do a full study.
It's vitally important for individuals to go to screenings, all variety of different screenings. Hopefully they see their doctors frequently and get the screenings that they need at their provider's office, but sometimes individuals don't, and so these community screenings are really beneficial for individuals.
To keep up with events happening at the Y, head to their Facebook page at TSB YMCA. Well, the Torrance South Bay YMCA helped the community by keeping people with cognitive impairments safe. They partnered with LA Found to distribute free lifesaver tracking bracelets. The program, created by the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors called Project Lifesaver, is a voluntary system of trackable bracelets for at-risk individuals. The bracelet works by emitting a radio frequency signal every couple of seconds. Valued at $375, the bracelet tracks anyone that may suffer from Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, or any other impairment and is mobile. When an individual goes missing, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deploys a team to assist with search and rescue. Attendees at the event say the bracelet gives them an extra peace of mind about their loved ones.
We came down to pick one up for her. She has absolutely no safety awareness and easily gets distracted. We recently started volunteering at our church on part of our hospitality team, and it's made her very friendly. And so whenever she sees anybody, she goes running up to them to say hi and hello and gives hugs. And it's made us a little more leery of her now because she tends to kind of just take off after people.
If somebody goes missing and you report them, we know that within an hour, maybe they're at a 3-mile radius, they're able to triangulate the location based off of the tracking device.
Attendees had to bring government-issued ID or birth certificate in order to receive the bracelet. 60% of individuals with Alzheimer's and 49% of children with autism will wander and go missing at some point in their lives. To learn more about the project, head to lafound.lacounty.gov. With a new semester comes new territory. El Camino College celebrated the opening of its $35 million gym. The new home court for Warrior Athletics received a warm welcome. The gym houses 2 instructional and athletic competition areas for basketball, volleyball, and badminton. The separate courts make it one of the few colleges in the state to have this unique feature. The basketball court can seat up to 1,241 fans, and the volleyball court can house up to 654. The nearly 57,000 square feet, two-story building also debuted an upstairs multi-purpose room with a window view of the football stadium so students can practice various exercises like yoga. The gymnasium also has team locker rooms and faculty offices.
Pretty much everything that you need in this facility, we have it. Athletic training room, equipment room, and we're ready to rock and roll and get this thing into use.
The new gym was funded by $400 million in facility bonds approved by voters in 2002 and 2012. It replaces both the North and South gyms. In honor of Black History Month, El Camino College hosted a luncheon to recognize some very special guests. Our Claudia Bermudez was there and has more from the event.
A friendship over 6 decades long. This group of men are members of the Los Angeles chapter of the Montford Point Marines. And in honor of Black History Month, they were invited to spend the afternoon sharing memories and making students and staff laugh at El Camino College. But laughter wasn't always a part of their daily life.
We're going to take them, but we don't want them mixing with the whites, which is a little crazy. So we served in all segregated units.
In 1941, the United States was preparing for World War II and needed recruits. So despite criticism, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 8802, which prohibited racial discrimination in the defense industry. This group of brave men were among the first group of African Americans to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. They faced many challenges together, both physical and emotional.
And I was found. By a group of Marines who kept looking for me all night. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today.
Sergeant Jack McDowell experienced racism during a segregated America.
People have to understand that all it does is hold this country back.
And one of the Montford Point Marines happens to be an alumni of El Camino College. Sergeant Henry Johnson, who resides in the neighboring city of Carson, attended El Camino College in the late 50s to further his music career.
Someone told me about Dr. Dwyer, and that she had a summer course and whatnot, and I might be interested in going to it. And I did, and I was very impressed with her.
And at 91 years old, he hasn't stopped performing. Johnson hopes by sharing their stories, those in attendance, especially students who served in the military, will leave inspired.
These men have been so much more compared to what I've done. And for them to be up and come up to a large crowd of people and tell them their stories and some of their struggles makes me view my goals to be more attainable.
Not only are they united by an unbreakable bond, the Marines share a valiant spirit which overcame obstacles and helped pave the way for young men and women of color in this country.
And we need everybody to be pulling together, working together.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Claudia Bermudez.
Great story. Thanks, Claudia. Now let's check in with Leslie Robbins on what's new and exciting in local sports. Leslie, what do you have for us?
What is up? Coming up on the sports desk, we are finals bound, baby. See which Torrance area teams are headed to the championship games. Track and field takes over Torrance. Plus, it's been 1 month since the death of Kobe Bryant. See how locals and A-list athletes are remembering him. That and so much more. Be sure to watch every day at 4 and 9:30. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Leslie. And that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.